Hey guys, so before I get into the video, I just wanted to request some feedback from you guys, especially the regular viewers, as I decided to spice up the format of these Decklist videos a little bit by adding commentary over the gameplay, which is something that's probably been the most requested thing since I created my channel, so I decided to give it a go. Let me know if you guys prefer it, or if you prefer if I just didn't speak over the gameplay portion, as I'm down to try both in future videos. And without further ado, here's the video.
One of the most fearsome is the rare Harpie eagle. With a 7-inch spread of talons, he can easily throttle a monkey.
YouTube, we are in the grand finals of the meta.
Alright, now I know what a lot of you are thinking. Really? Another Harpie video? Didn't you just upload one less than 2 weeks ago? Are you really that desperate for content? Yeah, I'm kinda desperate, but that's not the point. The point is, we have been given the latest installment of the Tag Duel tournament in-game, and as one of the rewards for playing in the event, we have been given a brand new Harpie support card, which means I've got an excuse to make another Harpie video. Welcome to my latest version of Harpie. So what did we get? Harpie Oracle is the brand new Harpie level 4 monster that has 2 effects that you can only use once per turn each. First of all, if you control a level 5 or higher Harpie, it can special summon itself from hand. So in this deck, that basically means if you control the Synchro monster on board, you can special summon this card from hand. And secondly, if this card is normal or special summoned, during the end phase you can add 1 spell or trap card from grave to hand that specifically lists Harpie Lady sisters. Now this might seem like a really weak effect at first, but after playtesting it a bunch, it turns out that it's pretty damn nutty for the list. For starters, if you are a Harpie's Hunting Ground user, you'll know that normally if you go first, you are forced to remove your Harpie's Hunting Ground since it's a mandatory effect. But now that we have Oracle, you can simply add it back to hand from grave during the end phase. Secondly, you'll notice when playing Swallow's Nest that you tend to dodge a lot of back row, which generally leads to you special summoning 3 separate Harpies a turn. Now all of your Harpie's effects are once per turn, meaning if you've already summoned a Channeler or a Perfumer, special summoning another copy feels like a total waste. So you would normally summon a Harpist, which in my opinion feels just as bad since it doesn't actually have an effect on special summon. Now we have Oracle as an option, since it actually has an effect when it's special from deck, and a useful one at that. And lastly, another major benefit of running this card is not only can you add back your Egotist or your Hunting Ground, but you can also add back your singular copy of Feather's Rest, which is great, considering the deck only plays 1 copy to avoid bricking an opening hand, but it can generally be used multiple times a duel. And since both Harpie's Hunting Ground and Rest are Harpie cards, by adding one back, if your hand contains a Channeler, you'll have a guaranteed follow-up play on your next turn by discarding the Harpie card for Channeler's effect. As for the rest of the deck, obviously I won't be going through it as nothing here is actually new since my last Harpie video less than 2 weeks ago, so feel free to go watch that one if you want to see some more info on how the deck works. But this is going to be a commentary over gameplay video, so you'll probably get the gist of it once you just watch the gameplay anyway. Alright guys, that's it for the toying part of the video. The rest of the video will be gameplay showcasing the list in action. If you like the video, please consider leaving a like, as well as subscribing to the channel for more content from me. Also, feel free to check out my Discord, Patreon, and Twitch in the links down below. And if you happen to have $1 lying around and wish to support me, feel free to click that join button down below to support me directly, as well as gain access to a few little neat perks. Enjoy the gameplay! Alright, so today's replays are going to be a little bit different than normal, as obviously I'm kind of talking and I don't normally do this when I do replays. Basically, all the gameplay I got today was a little bit arse compared to my normal stuff, considering 50% of my matchups are Blue Eyes. It's just, the ladder is just all Blue Eyes, so 50% of my games against Blue Eyes, which makes all the replays such lower quality as no one wants to see the same matchup every single game. So I decided to try to spice up the content a little bit by maybe casting over the top of it. I know a lot of people have been requesting that I do this, so I thought maybe I'd give it a go. Keep in mind, this isn't scripted at all, unlike the rest of my video, which is always scripted, so if I stutter and make mistakes or whatever, I apologise. It's going to be a bit awkward, I guess, but yeah. I'm also not really used to just kind of talking to myself like this. It's a bit weird. Without a script, anyway. So, yeah. Let's get into it. Also, I apologise for some of the replays too, as a lot of them, like 50% of them were against Blue Eyes, the other 50% of the replays were against people who just kind of conceded as soon as I summoned a Harpy, or conceded as soon as I, like, tried to activate a Harpy effect. I don't know. It was some of these games, man, that is so bad. Anyway. So I believe this one was against a super heavy samurai player, and I'm pretty sure it was a bad replay, but I wanted to include it because it included the 4-game win streak, so it showed that there was actually were win streaks in this, because the deck did go 9-1, but without proof, no one believes you, so. So fairly standard opener, you just summoned your Channeler, discarded a Harpie card to summon Perfumer, Perfumer search for a spell. I did have the option here of searching for the draw spell, but if I searched for the draw spell over Egotist, it would have meant that I had no target for Swallow's Nest in the end, so I thought it was better to make sure I had Elegant Egotist so I can summon a Harpy, so I can set this card, meaning I would have removal with my Harpie Synchro as well. Obviously, of course, I also had to remove the Hunting Ground because there was no spell or trap cards on my opponent's side. But the cool thing about this deck is, as I would have mentioned in the talking segment of the video, we can actually add this back if I choose to now. Especially when you use Swallow's Nest on the other Harpy, because I swap over the Harpy for Oracle. Oracle can then choose to add back his Hunting Ground, which is really good. Anyway, we'll get on with it. So simply Synchro Summon straight into Channeler, Cyber, and an Egotist, summon out the Harpie Lady 1, and set 2. Opponent tries to activate a monster, we immediately activate Swallow's Nest because we don't want him doing any kind of Synchro Summoning, because we know there's like, the only way Super Heavy Samurai ever can play the game is if they have a monster on the field in the first place to special summon. The only other possibility is they have the level 5 or 7, whichever one it is from hand that can special summon itself. It's just not likely it happens. So I thought, let's just remove this monster, then he can't special summon at level 2, you can't equip anything to this to remove it to search for anything, so the game will just end here. Also, we're going to swap this out for Oracle, because that way we get to add back the Hunting Ground. Or Egotist, either one. Yeah, so he just conceded instantly. And that is why I'm talking over the gameplays today, because a lot of them were just like that. A lot of opponents just kind of conceding instantly. I think the only good replays I got today were just against Blue Eyes players, which is so sad. And one Cyber Dragon player who played like absolute arse, so I don't know. Alright. So obviously Blue Eyes player, we're on a 3-win streak now. Well, we're going backwards in time since it went 4-win streak to 3-win streak, but whatever. Alright, so he went first this time. I believe he had a really weak opener because he didn't have any back row set. So he went for a simple Spirit Dragon turn 1, which normally, this is why a lot of people take Ties of the Binds with Harpies instead of the Hunting Ground, because Ties of the Binds makes it easier to beat over the Azure Eyes that comes out of the extra deck, since you can't destroy it by card effects or target it, so if they summon it, you have to try to beat over it. Luckily for you guys, this deck can also do it without actually having the skill. It's also very easy to do too, it's just more steps, I guess. So Harpie's Hunting Ground unfortunately gets destroyed. As per normal, he had no back row, nothing to kill. Honestly, I think using Ties the Binds is probably better than using Hunting Ground. I just find Ties the Binds to be the most boring skill ever. I just want to use fun skills, so if I get the option to use Harpie's Hunting Ground over Ties, I'm going to use it every day of the week. It's just a much more fun skill. Even if it's not better, I just enjoy it more, so yeah, you play this game for as much fun as you do for, you know, competitive stuff, so I just enjoy it more. Again, same opener combo, Channeler, summon this. I believe this was a mistake by me. I think I misclicked this. I wanted to set this for next turn, but it's fine. At least you get to see me do Oracle stuff. So I summon the Oracle. Oracle can then add back the Hunting Ground from Grave, which is really good, by the way, because you'll see at the end phase, we got the Oracle add back the Hunting Ground, and because Hunting Ground is a Harpies card, I now have a card for Channeler. So if this did go to another turn, then Channeler will be able to have a target to be able to Exceed Summon and stuff, or Synchro Summon. So we have to beat over this because of, I guess we'll just wait till you see. I try to target it with this dude's effects, which will force it to swap out. Doesn't really matter if I did this or not, it wouldn't change the fact you'll have to swap it anyway. He summons this boy is untargetable and cannot be destroyed by card effects. So the only way to get over it is by beating over it. So we have to get enough attack on this Harpy to get through it. And thankfully, I've used Perfumer's effect to search for an Elegant Egotist, and our opening hand also opened an Elegant Egotist. Meaning simply, we just summon one Harpie Lady for extra 300 attack, and summon an extra Harpie Lady for 300 attack. So that's 3200, and he's screwed. To be fair, if we had ties, he'd be dead here, but, you know, this is much more fun. And yeah, this game was just over. Alright, moving on to the next one. I think this was the Sidra player. Oh yeah. So this duel was, I'm pretty sure, him just playing really badly, but it does show off Harpy's doing some cool stuff as well, but I'm pretty sure this guy just played terribly. Pretty certain. Alright, so again, had to pop this. Sadly, most of my duels ended up going first as well, so you don't get to see much hunting ground, which is a shame. I don't think you can see like any hunting ground at all in this video, so it's not exactly a good promotion for it, but this skill is really good, because it does allow you to still force your opponent to use back row if they have it. Like if he had 3 back row here, he'd have to use one when I target it, then when he activates it in response, I could chain Swallow's Nest to dodge. It just forces you to use your opponent's back row before you do your synchro summon. Because if you're doing your synchro summon and he still has back row, you can't exactly Swallow's Nest your synchro monster. So it's a good skill, it's just, yeah, it's really such a shame you have to destroy it. Which is why it's so good that Oracle exists now, so we can at least have a chance to get it back again. Either way, search for like an Egotist, so we can actually do a synchro summon. Channeler, there we go. So this is a cool combo. We swapped it out using, if that's what we saw as this? Actually, I already forgot what I did. And this is why you should script your stuff. Yeah, swapped it out for Channeler. Which could then special summon the Oracle from deck, and when Oracle's special summoned, you can use its effect during the end phase, add a spell back. Elegant Egotist, so we have a target for Swallow's Nest, because again, Swallow's Nest can't target your synchro monster. And Oracle adds back. I could have added back the Feather Duster here, not Feather Duster, the Hunting Ground, but I feel like once it's already past turn 1, a lot of times it's probably better just add back the draw spell. I don't know, it's kind of hard to play through like multiple, it's kind of hard to play through multiple back row once you've already summoned a bunch of Harpies, and Hearthstone's Ground doesn't really do much once you've already used all your Harpies, so you can't keep activating it or anything, so it's just kind of, yeah, I don't know. I think it was better just to add the draw spell back. Especially considering I have no resources left in hand or anything. No Harpies left in hand, can't activate it anymore, yeah. Alright, now for Mr. Cyber Dragon's turn. Now this dude actually just, he's gotta be trolling. There's no way this is how this was meant to be played out. So he used Fusion Gate to summon out Rampage Dragon. At this point, it was kinda lame, because like, I know there's not much, he's added this card to hand, wherever it was. Let me just scroll to it. He had this card to hand, so I know he can summon another one of these, like he can summon just another one of these. He can just use this thing's effect, use his skill, and summon another one. So even if I return this one to hand, or remove it now, it won't really matter, he'll summon another one and then continue to pop off with Fusion Gate. But he didn't really do that. So I used Swallow's Nest, I swapped it out, I removed this monster, and then, yeah, same combo, search for anything Egotist, doesn't really matter. He then used the thing, of course activated the skill, and I was expecting him to then fusion summon another copy of Chimera Tech, which I'm pretty sure, I might be just missing something here, or maybe I'm just dumb, but I'm pretty sure he could have summoned just another Chimera Tech here, sent 3 to the grave, and then done a bunch of other stuff, since he can use the grave as resources thanks to fusion support. But he just summoned the Twin Dragon, which was kind of odd. I was like, okay, well that's not gonna lethal me, that feels good. So I'm gonna kill my stuff, then activate Cyberload Fusion, and I was like, oh shit, Cyberload Fusion, I've only got 3,800 life points, I wasn't feeling too great. But thankfully, like, there's no like cyber dragons out there or anything, so he can only summon Chimera Tech, right? Because all the other ones require specifically cyber dragon, so I don't know what this guy was doing. So he summoned this thing, did 2100, and allowed me to play the game. Maybe I missed something and he did actually play correctly, I don't know. Either way, this was the easiest synchro summon of my life. Elegant Egotist, remove something back to hand, special summon a Harpy out, and he's dead on board. Now I forget, did I use Oracle to add that back to hand? I did. So, we used Oracle's effect here to add back the Feather Duster, or Feather's Rest, and because we added Feather's Rest back, we had a target for Channeler. Which is why there was actually a target for Channeler in hand. Another example of why Oracle's actually so good. Oracle's like massively overperformed. When I first saw the card, like when it's being released, I didn't think much of it. But after actually just really playtesting the card, it actually just seems so good. There's no way, like, meta Harpy decks won't run at least one copy. There's just no way. It's so good. It's actually so good. Being able to recycle with Harpy is just... I don't know. The deck's it's just super consistent. I love it. Alright. So this will be another Blue Eyes player. Of course, playing Kyber, no doubt. Oh, this game was just a complete blowout because simply I have a Imprisoning Mirror in hand. So again, we had an opener without Channeler, so we have to use Perfumer. Perfumer, Elegant Egotist, summon a Harpy, Synchro Summon. This is like the weakest start to Harpies when you don't get Channeler and you have to use Perfumer's effect. But it's just so good that Harpy has like this as an option. There's literally 6 starters in Harpy. It makes the deck so consistent. Alright, he's hammering Sage with Eyes of Blue. Tries to search. Of course, I let him summon it first before activating the effect to try to waste it. But then I got like... I think I like pussied out here. Because then I used Slash's effect to return it to hand. Which I don't really think I needed to. Like, I don't know. I don't think I really needed to return it to hand here. Like, if he had managed to summon something, we always had Forbidden Lance to reactivate the effect to return it to hand. So I think it was a bit of a wasted, like, effect here. I don't know. I guess it meant that I could keep Forbidden Lance if he wasn't able to play the game here. But either way, we had Light-Imprisoning Mirror. He couldn't play the game. So his effect gets negated. Then uses Cuts Consonants. This effect is also negated. And he's a very sad boy. Triple back row. We have Channeler, which summons out a Perfumer. Perfumer then can search for a spell, search for the draw spell, and because we had a level 6 on board, we can search for 2 spells. So we've got the Elegant Egotist as well. Draw first. Just as a general habit, you should always be drawing first before you make your plays. It just makes more sense. It gives you more options before you decide what to do. It's just as a general habit to do that. In any card game, actually, not just Yu-Gi-Oh! And he conceded instantly. So his back row was probably just a bunch of bait stuff. Alright, and the final game, I think, was versus a DDD player. This game got a little bit spicy, I believe. It's probably the best replay we got out of the 9 games. Oh, 10 games, sorry. Alright, so this is like a it would be a super weak start, but thankfully Swaz Nest can swap this out for one of the 2 decent starters. Another reason why this deck's so consistent is we have 6 starters, 6 starting monsters, and if we don't get a hold of them, we can always use this as a starter as well. So just like, it's just so, this deck is ridiculously consistent. It's just ridiculous. Alright, Perfumer, search for a spell. So we had to normally search for Channeler with this little combo between these 2, but we didn't have a Harpy spell in hand at the time. We just searched for this card. So If we don't have a Harpy spell in hand, we can't use Channeler's effect, so we had to use Perfumer. Which is fine, because we have Egotist, so we can still do a Synchro anyway, and also could add the draw spell to hand. Synchro out Cyber Slash. Return 3, draw 2. Set Treacherous, and set Forbidden Lance. We're in a pretty good spot here, very well set up. We have a removal of 2 monsters, and removal of a 3rd monster with Slash. So this guy's... I think that, like, the counterplay would be to summon only 1 monster, but... It's impossible to know what my back row is. And to be fair, we've got Forbidden Lance, so you can remove just 1 singular monster anyway. But the counterplay is generally just summon 1 monster. But no one knows if you're running Treacherous, you can't tell. I could be running any back row at all. Galaxy Cyclone, hits the Lance. You find out he's playing DDD. He went for the big boy turn 1, the absolute big boss. Big Oblivion King. So for the love of God, do not let this thing attack or he's going to yoink my monster. We're just not letting that happen. But we don't panic or anything, we don't just go, oh shit, let's activate Treacherous and pop our 2 monsters to get rid of it. We're not going to panic, that's dumb. We'll let our opponent summon some more stuff first, so then we can do this. 3 monsters on board. We're going to Treacherous Trap Hole, destroy 2 of them, and return 1 to hand. And the one we return to hand is obviously going to be the fusion monster, as it doesn't go to hand, it goes to extra deck. So we destroy the 2 monsters, and send 1 back to the extra deck. And we know our opponent hasn't got any graveyard resources or anything, he's already used his fusion summon. So he's pretty much done from this point. Absolute massacred his board. And he concedes. And alright, that's it. That was it for the replays. Let me guys know. Let me know if you guys enjoyed me talking over the replays in this kind of like unscripted fashion. I don't know. It's a bit different for me, so if you guys enjoyed it, let me know. I can also do like face cam for this stuff too, if you guys want to see my beautiful face whilst I do this and my beautiful beard that needs to shave urgently. So yeah, thanks for watching.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob?
Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis.
Oh.